and take this opportunity to introduce. Even we know so many things about Kirmani sir, but it would be a pleasure to listen again and again. And thank you so much, sir, for being with us this morning session. Islam sir, over to you, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. Mudassir Manzoor Kirmani Sahab is working as an assistant professor in computer sciences at Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agriculture, Cultural Sciences and Technology of Kashmir. He has completed his PhD in computer science from the same department, Department of Computer Science and Information Technology, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. He has a total experience of more than 17 years at different designations in various organizations. He has completed various training and certificate courses from national and international level agencies. He has more than 200 citations at his research publications. He has published 2 books in his name, 12 book chapters, 37 research papers in international refereed journals, 4 research papers in international conferences. He was an invited speaker in 8 national conferences and delivered 2 international lectures. Sir is also a member of 6 editorial boards. He has also contributed to various technical events such as technical fests, workshops, FDPs, seminars at national level. He has completed 3 funded research projects. He has held various administrative responsibilities over the years. His research area is e-learning and recent trends in computer science. He has professional membership of various international computer science and related professional bodies. He believes in using open source technologies in academics. So this is about Kirmani Saab. Sir, it's over to you, the session from now.
Yeah,
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, sir. Indeed an honor. First, Dr. Pradeep Saab, it is indeed an honor that... One sec, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this program, wherein I have been given a responsibility of engaging the audience for another 1.5 hour or 2 hours, which is a tough time because this is pre-lunch session. In all pre-lunch sessions, the tough time is that audience do feel hungry. So I am taking a topic which is very much known to everyone, keeping in mind the knowledge set of audience that I can see over here. They know the topic well. They are from computer sciences background. But my perspective will be today to give you just an idea about what this Python is about, and from a different perspective, rather, I should say. Because generally what we do is, we always say that whenever we see machine learning, data sciences, we say that Python is inbuilt in that, which is not at all true, but Python is a pivotal part as far as your machine learning and data science is concerned. So before starting the session, I would like to mention that I have been a student of Manu. I have completed my PhD from over there. So my gratitude to all my teachers, because they are in front of me. The tough job for a student is to speak in front of the teachers. So therefore, I am having a galaxy of teachers over here. Pradeep Saab will bear me out. Dr. Pradeep Saab, you will bear me out.
I'll take your leave, Kirmani Saab. So
Thank
then
you,
you be more comfortable.
No, sir. It will be indeed an honor to speak in your presence. I'll be switching off my camera because of the bandwidth issues and all, so that my session is fine. But my request to audience is that I have a bad habit. And that bad habit is that keeping in touch with the audience and ensuring that audience are connected to me. So therefore, my whole focus will be that we'll be dealing with practicality. I'll be using the presentation only as a marker so that I can directly go towards the practical, and I'll show you that how we are doing it. And I will request you that if you can also install it, and if you can use it live with me, it will be sort of fun for you as far as the programming is concerned using Python. So let me start first with the presentation of mine. I'll start sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, let me start. I hope that my screen is visible and my audio is clear. Anyone can mention. Anyone from the audience? I hope we are connected
Yes,
with
sir.
audience.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
So nice of you. So nice of you, Deepali. Okay, now is my presentation fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So as I said that I'll be using the practical session, but this presentation will be just a marker to move from one topic to the other. So keeping in mind the topic, that is data sciences, let me switch on the pointer so that we can use it. Now, if you check out the topic, that is data sciences, we always say that we are having now huge amount of data. The scenario is changing. The scenario is changing from one definition to the other. And I do start my session by saying this particular statement, that we have reached a particular place wherein we are drowning in data and dying for information. So we are drowning in data and dying for information. Dying for information. So what I mean by this is that with respect to the concept of data sciences, we are connecting more and more devices, more and more opportunities are connected together in such a fashion that the amount of data is becoming huge, and then it's becoming unexpectedly huge. Now, keeping that in mind, we need to carve out information from that data. That is the point wherein programming language comes into picture. Now, if we take an example of our previous programming language, like we had C, we had C++, we had other languages as well, which were very powerful, but keeping in mind the magnanimity of the data that we are having, the huge amount of data that we are having, that in order to carve out some information out of it, it's becoming difficult with respect to the previous programming languages. And then once moving towards the new programming language, we can find out tools which can help us in carving out information easily, and it will be visible when we start using Python right from the beginning till its maturity. Now, just an idea that we do have computer language at our table, then there are machine language, assembly language, and high-level language. I would like to mention one point over here. The audience that we have today is, there is a set of audience, maybe 30 to 40%, who might be very well aware of this concept. But there are some people in the audience whom don't know much about it. Therefore, I will be starting from the lower level till we are getting an idea of the programming language that we are supposed to use. Then similarly, we have programming language which we are supposed to discuss today, that is Python. Now, with respect to Python, something comes into our mind, that is data sciences, that is artificial intelligence, that is machine learning, which is not true unless and until you don't use that Python. Python will help you in developing an environment which can help you in learning algorithm, which can help you in generating a learning algorithm. Python can help you in enabling a machine learning environment. Python can help you in processing huge amounts of data. Now, once we are supposed to use that Python on our desktops or laptops, whatever it is for that matter, we can use different environments. We can use direct Python. We can use Jupyter notebooks, that's available over here. Then we can use Anaconda, which is a very good, I love using Anaconda because that is one of the best interfaces that I could see when using Python, and I'll be using that only. Then we do have Spider. That is again one of the interface IDEs wherein you can use Python. You can use direct Python, you can use Jupyter notebooks, you can use Anaconda, and you can use Spider as well. Then these are some of the flavors of Python. When it comes to Python, one is programming component. Second one is that I'm having a component known as NumPy. I'm having a component known as Pandas. I'm having a component known as matplotlib. Then SCIPY, TensorFlow, which is one of the best tools as far as machine learning is concerned. Then Plotly I'm having, then Seaborn I'm having. I would like to make a distinction over here that Python, what we are going to know today, it's fundamental of Python. And when it comes to NumPy, we'll be going through a couple of commands wherein you can see that how we can use import command, and using NumPy is just invoking a library which will help you in using less code and getting more results. Then similarly, when we see the approach of this programming language, it's a procedure-oriented programming language, and we do have different aspects of that. Then as far as your Python is concerned, it's sort of object-oriented programming language. I'll not go into the details of it, but I'll just give you a gist. I'll just take you through. It's a walkthrough that what Python is having in offer to you as a user, as an end user. It does offer you in OOPS the classes concept. Then you can create objects of it. Then you can create properties of classes. Then you can create behavior of classes. Then as far as Python programming language is concerned, it provides you, it gives you a feature of easy to use. That we can see just after 5 to 10 minutes, that how easy it is to use Python programming language when we compare it with the C or with other language. It gives you more flexibility. It's open source. Therefore, there is a concept known as copyright and copyleft. When we go for open source, so you are free to use it. But do remember, whenever you use an open source technology, if you develop something of your own using a particular platform which is an open source, do remember to give credit to those whom have developed that open source platform. It's a sort of concept wherein we say sharing and caring. That if you are using a particular technology which is open source, which has been provided to you for free, you are using it fully, and you're developing something, do remember to give credit to those who have given you the technology which you have used to develop something new, something innovative, something out of box. Then the concept of Python programming is helping us to use embedded and extensible approach, wherein we can embed the code of Python into some device, or we can use it by extending a technology, by empowering a technology with some extra features by using Python. Then we can use object-oriented programming concepts in Python. It's very simple to use. Simplicity is one of the features of Python. And then portability is that we can port the code from one device to the other because it's not dependent on an hardware architecture. Then it's interpreted as far as Python is concerned. It will execute, it will compile your code based on a statement approach, statement-based statement approach. Then integration is there. You can integrate different components. If you develop a package like you have seen just now, NumPy was there, other components like TensorFlow was there. You can create your own components and they can be integrated with the whole scheme of whole gamut of this Python. Then we'll be coming towards now usage of Python, where Python is used. If you can see that 10 years back, if you might have checked YouTube, you might have seen a limited repository of videos. Now, if you check it out, by 2018, 2017, the number of videos was still on a limited number. But the time this COVID-19 came into existence, that every one of us, especially from the teaching community, started shifting towards videos. And nowadays, everyone is having 100, 200, 500, 600 videos. So which has given a huge increase, which has seen a huge increase in the videos that have been created. So YouTube, which is a video repository, is using Python as for different mechanisms. BitTorrent is using it, NASA is using it, Netflix is using it, Google is using it, Dropbox is using it, Raspberry Pi. You might have seen this. If you don't know anything about any of the attributes, you can pose it as a question. I'll be explaining it. Raspberry, you use this device as when it comes to using electronic circuitry in order to connect it, in order to integrate it with other devices, in order to use sensors easily. Then we use Raspberry Pi or Arduino. Then the same concept of Python is used for security data analysis, wherein you are having huge amount of data and you need to search for strings. You can do it using Python, wherein it's a bit easy to do these things, provided you know the basics of this programming language. You use this Python, you can see the use of Python programming language in online marketing as well. So therefore, I have just tried to give you an idea that you name any entity wherein digital concept is used, you will find either directly or indirectly Python is getting used over there. Now we'll be moving towards the first component. At any particular point of time, you can drop a message so that I can see that if you have any questions. So let me start with the first attribute, that is how to install it. The first attribute to install is that you can directly go to the website, that's python.org. If you go to this website, you can install Python. This will be the screen outlay once you click on python.org. And once you use this particular website, you can download the Python directly. You can use it as a command line interpreter wherein you can write a message or a line of code and it will get executed. Then second option is, which I'll be using, is Anaconda. That if you go to this Anaconda option, you will find this sort of information over here. This is the first page of Anaconda wherein you need to download it, which I have already downloaded. You can also download it. And once you download it, you will have an icon which you can see over here. This one will be the icon of the Anaconda. So I'll be starting with the Anaconda just now. I'll just click on the start button and I'll write Anaconda. Now, once I click on this, I'm about to start with Anaconda. So this is the install. It's easily available, free and open source. So I have started Anaconda interface on my PC so that you can see that how we are going to start with. Let me go back to the presentation by the time it starts. This is Anaconda Navigator, wherein we'll be getting this sort of a screen and from where we need to start with. Just hold on a second. By the time Anaconda interface is available, I'll be able to show it to you. Yes, here it is. Now, this is once you install Anaconda IDE, you will get good number of options in this. Like as you can see over here, the first option over here is cmd.exe prompt, Jupyter Lab. As I said, Jupyter Notebook is also one of the very good options. So what I'll be focusing on in this particular session is only Jupyter Notebook. So what I'll do is I'll click on launch button. The time I click on launch, Jupyter Notebook will be started on your PC. So whatever PC you are having, the browser that you are using, that browser, like I'm having Edge installed on this. So the time I started the Jupyter Notebook, it got opened as a tab of my browser, wherein you can see the different options available. I'll be going to all these options one by one, and then we'll be starting with the code of it. This is the Jupyter Notebook that you need to click. You need to click on launch. Once you click on launch, the first command that we are going to give, will be seeing it just now. Now let's open, once you click on launch Jupyter Notebook, now let's get an idea of this. You can see over here, there are two buttons, quit and log out, that is to move out. And then there are files which you are having in this particular installation that I have installed. Running is there, clusters are there, and then upload is there and new is there. I'll be starting with new and I'll click on new. And here you can see the options of Python 3, text file, folder, and terminal. So I can start with a new file, that is Python 3. Now the time I click on Python 3, a new file is opened, wherein I can use the Python code, any line of code that you want to write. Let's suppose, just for the sake of trying it, if I write, I do write my initials as MMK, and if I write MMK and I need to press, do remember this, I'll open a notepad file so that I can keep on writing it, because sometimes it will not be visible. The basic concept that you want to remember is that if you press enter key, it means you will go to the next line. You will not execute it. Now, if I press shift plus enter, it means you are about to execute the code. So let me start by just pressing enter. The time I press enter, the cursor is moving to the next line, which gives you an idea that the program is not complete. Now, if your program is complete, you need to press shift and enter. The time you press shift and enter, it will generate an error message. Why? Because MMK is not at all accepted. MMK is not a valid word as far as Python program is concerned. MMK is not a valid word for the Python program because it doesn't understand this literal. Now, let's suppose we do always try to find out the tutorial or help for a particular programming language or a command. So if I write help and then if I write shift and enter, now it is showing me, it's giving me an idea that help is not an appropriate word, but it exists in Python. You have to understand the difference. I did write MMK, it did show me the error message. When I wrote help, it gave me an idea that help is not an appropriate way of writing. Rather, help is a valid word in Python. I need to write it like this, help, and then braces starting and braces ending. The time I press shift and enter, it will show me that sort of that welcome to this utility. You can show that what type of help you need to take. So you can take good number of attributes out of it. So let's assume that I'll now again start with the home page. I'll just log out this. I'll start with the home page. I have one file created over here. That is 23rd of November, Manu. So I'll start with, one sec, I need to log in once again. I need to start with the Anaconda once again. Please bear with me for 1 minute. I have files ready with me. This is 23rd of November. 23rd of November is with me. I hope that you are able to see all commands. I'll be starting afresh. So I'll be starting with again the help keyword, pressing shift enter. And you can see again it's showing me the same concept that how we are going to proceed. Now similarly, the first command that we have seen over here, that was help keywords. So let's start with help keywords. Starting braces and then keywords. Just press shift and enter. You will find that it's giving me the help of that what are the keywords for which you can take help of. Like there are true is a keyword, and is a keyword. So whenever you write parentheses, it will give you an idea that what for which particular topic you need to take help of. Let me just take 1 minute in order to explain it. As you know that whenever we write a function, it is the keyword of the function, then parentheses start and parentheses end. Now, whenever I write help and then I write starting braces and ending braces, it will give you an idea that you have not given me anything for which you need help. So whenever you want to take help for a particular topic, you need to put that thing over here within these braces in order to give the idea to the Python that I need help for this particular topic. So if you have to write, then you can write help. I can write keywords and close braces, and that's it. It will give you the available keywords in Python. Now, similarly, moving further, that let's start with the first attribute, that is identifiers in Python. When we compare this Python and other programming languages, if it is a C language, then we were supposed to write something like this, that we were supposed to write main, we were supposed to start the braces, then we were supposed to first of all declare int of a, then we could have written a is equal to 1, then we had to written printf, and so on. Had it been C++, we were supposed to write directly a is equal to 1, but you will see differences when it comes to Python. Let's start with the first attribute. As far as the identifier is concerned, let's start with a variable that is a is equal to 2. Then after that, I'll say b is equal to 3. Then I'll say c is equal to a plus b. These are basic words, but I need to use it over here. You have not seen any output over here. Now, if I want to go back to the previous program, I'll simply press enter. And if I write C only, now this time also, you will see the output. So it means I have simply written C and it is showing me the output of 5. Or I can write it like this also, A, B, and C. The time I press shift and enter, it will show me only and only the last line. That is this one. That is the C, which is the resultant. But if I want to use A, I want to display it on screen. So So I need to simply write print starting braces and then ending braces. That's it. So once I use shift and enter, it will show me 2, as you can see over here. That is using the print command. So had it been C, wherein we were having a complete string, we were supposed to write printf, and then after that we were supposed to write %d or something else. Then after that we were supposed to write anything, the name of the variable. So here it is becoming very easy. Like I can write over here print, and then after that within inverted commas I can say value of b is equal to, then comma, then at the end I can write close the braces, and you can see the beauty of this. 2 is there, value of b is equal to 3, and then you can see the value of c, which is automatically printed over here. So similarly, if we move further, let's use some more statements. Like I have used over here some extra statements. I'll be putting it like this. I can say c is equal to, let me directly write c is equal to a plus 3, not a, 10 plus 20 divided by 30 multiplied by 4. You can put it like this. You can say print. Now, once I click on starting braces, ending braces will automatically come over there, and you can write print C, and just press shift and enter. You will get the complete idea of over here. Now, why did I mention this? Why did I use this C is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, and then I did print the value of C? If you have observed it keenly, you would see in the first chunk of code that is available over here, the value of C printed was 5, which is an integer value. But now I have not declared the name of the variable. I have not declared what type of variable I am having. Rather, what I have said is I have just given C is equal to 10 plus 20 divided by 30 multiplied by 4, which by default will create fractional value. And you have seen that C variable, when I print it, it is printing the fractional variable. So therefore, what we have seen over here, we don't need to declare anything. It will automatically put a variable of type float or of type integer based on the value that you are giving. That is one more beauty of Python. We'll see a couple of good things which will be available over here. So we have seen that in Python, you can have variables based on the value you are assigning to them. And similarly, we can have some more, okay, fine, I'll show you one more attribute over here. Let's suppose I'll write C is equal to 2 plus 3, then this particular sign, and then after that I'll say print C. Now once I say print C, it will generate an error. But if I modify this code, after the slash, if I write, let's suppose 20. Now, this is haphazard sort of a thing, wherein you need to understand that if you are not mentioning any number after the slash, then it will generate an error message. But if I mention number over here, now see the output will change. Sorry, I did write one sec. Okay, I have not written a sign over here. Let's suppose I'll write plus sign over here. I'll remove this, and now I'll press shift and enter. Now, if you check it out, it is generating an error. In this particular case, what my string is, C is equal to 2 plus 3 plus, but I'm not giving any number. I'm giving a slash. After the slash, if I put 20, now the value will change. Now check it out. Now it is giving you 25. This is providing you more flexibility. So 2 plus 3 plus slash. Then if you give a number, if another number is given, it will not have any impact. The slash will not have any impact. It will give you the answer. Now, if you put, I want to put this 20 as a comment, as a statement which should not be executed, I'll just put hash. Simply putting a hash will improve on that. I'll press enter, sorry. Again, because I have pressed this. Now let me press enter. You can see over here, by putting this hash, this 20 has become a comment line. So therefore, it gives you an idea that identifiers can be used more flexibly, and the error message will give you an idea that what type of error it is. Now let's see that how strings will work. Let's suppose I'll write x is equal to, in inverted commas, Atal Manu. And after that, I'll say print of x. The time I press enter, so it is giving me an idea that the value of x is Atal Manu. But what I need to convey to the audience is that this printing and giving a value, assigning a value to a variable doesn't mean that what our objective is. We need to understand the nitty-gritties of that. Let's suppose I don't want to print the value. I want to see what type of value is in x. So I can say simply print, and I can mention type over here within braces. I can put x. Do remember only one thing. I'll come to the presentation and I'll show you that if I press enter, you can see that it is showing me that this x is of type string, and it's showing class string. Now let's suppose I put x as 20 and I press enter. It's again showing me class int. Class int. Somebody is saying that voice is slow. Is voice is fine? Voice is okay?
Audible, sir.
Audible. Thank you. Similarly, if I put x is equal to 2.5, now just press shift and enter, you will see float. So what I need to communicate over here is that the data types that are visible over here, class keyword is attached to it. So it gives us a message that every data type belongs to a class. Int is a class, float is a class, string is a class. So from that class, it is deriving all the attributes and behavior of that particular class. So that's not the end of the story, because if you are using C or C++, having int, float, and double float, string, and all is finished. But now the identifiers that you are going to see now in Python, what we are going to practice just now, that will broaden your perspective. Because when the data is huge, you can have 10 observations in one variable. That's what we need to see. And do remember only one thing, which is very important. That is, everything works in Python in the form of a function. So therefore, if I have used print, so print is a function. Parenthesis start and parenthesis close signifies that this is a function. And within these two parentheses, you can give any argument. So just now, I have used print, and then after that, I did use type. Now type is also a function, but for everything you need to give parentheses because it is a function and you need to give an argument to it. So this variable a was given over here. So it was retrieving the type of a, what type of variable a is, then that was given as an argument to this print function. Let's move further and see that how we can do it, what we can do with respect to the variables over here. We will extend the same example, what we have seen just now over here. That was Atal Manu. Now this time I'll not write Atal Manu. What we'll do is, we'll write x is equal to long brackets. Long brackets is different, curly brackets is different as far as Python is concerned. Now I'll say within inverted commas, Atal, and then after that, I'll put another value in that is comma, within inverted commas, I'll write Manu. Then after that, I'll say that it is 23rd of November. 23rd of November. Now, if you have checked out this, now again, I'll say print of x, we can check it out. The time I say that x is a variable which corresponds of 3 different values, so all the values are getting stored in x. Now at the same time, if you want to see the type of x, let's suppose I'll copy the same statement and I'll put it over here and I'll check what will be the type of this x. You can check it out. Now the type of the data that you are mentioning over here, it's no more int, it's no more string, it's no more float. Rather, it's a new data type. What you can see in Python is list. So this variable does not correspond of one single value, it corresponds of more than one value. So again, class keyword is there, which signifies that list is a data type, but it belongs to a class. It is having a class from where it is deriving all its properties. Had it been C, we would be required to write in good lines of code in order to generate a data type of this particular attribute. Similarly, we have some more attributes as well. Let's process this thing. As you can see, as you have seen in C language, as you have seen in C++, we used to have arrays. But for that, we needed to declare values. Now you have seen over here, we have declared X is equal to ATAL Manu 23 November. ATAL is the first keyword, Manu is the second string, and then 23rd of November is the third string. Now, if I want to use the same line of code, this time I'll change it. I'll put it like this, print X. First, we'll write only X. Now, when I press shift and enter, it's giving you all the three strings. You want to print a particular string. Why do I focus on print? Because when you are able to segregate one keyword out of these three, it means you are able to segregate it by printing it. You can use it for other mechanisms. You can use it for giving input to some other command. Now, let's suppose I'll write it like this, X, then long brackets with 0. Now, check it out. It'll give me not the all values of X. It'll give me only and only the first keyword of X. Now, let's give X of 1. It will give me Manu. Now let's give X of 2. It will give me 23rd of November. Now let me try by mentioning one extra value, that is X of 3. Now check it out. It is giving you out of bounds. You can check it out with a message, list index out of range. It gives you an idea what we used to do in C language. When we were declaring an array of 10 elements and we are trying to access the 11th element, it used to generate errors. So that error is generated over here, but in 2 lines of code, I am able to access an element of an array. So therefore, the list that has been mentioned over here, virtually, it is sort of an array that has been created. But for that, you don't need to put in more efforts. It's very easy to create, as you have seen over here. Similarly, we have some more types of identifiers as well. Let's move towards one more attribute. First, I'll write it 2 over here so that you will see the correct output. This is the correct output as far as 2 is concerned. Now, let's use some other type of brackets. I'll now say like this, X is equal to, please do remember, difference is there with long bracket and curly bracket. Now, I'll be using a curly bracket. Now this time I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, X is having 6 values, and then after that I'm saying print X. Let's firstly try this, and you can see the print of X is giving me the whole list. Now if I want to check out, I'll say I want to see the type of it. I'll mention brackets again by mentioning the type of X. Now let's suppose I press shift and enter, and I can get class is equal to set. So what were the different types that we have seen? The first thing that we saw was an integer value, integer. Then we did see real, that is the fractional part. Then we did see this curly brackets wherein it was list. Then just now we have seen now the other type of variable, that's wherein we are able to give more numbers, more than one numbers to a single variable, and that will be named as set. We can perform operations as well on that. Now let's try to use this particular statement over here. I'll put it like this, X of 0. I'll start with first X of 0. The time I press, now just see, it is showing me X of 0 is not accessible. Why? Because I have used long brackets. You have to remember these things. You have to use curly braces properly. Now, there is a one program which I can just try to copy so that if you wish, we can use it as it is. So let me use this again. What we can do is we can have another variable, y is equal to long brackets. Then I can write 1, comma, sorry, with an inverted commas, write 1, and then you can write with an inverted commas, you can write 2. This is one more attribute which we can try. And then after that, as we have seen, we can write over here y long brackets of 0 so that we can get an idea. Now, once I press shift and enter, it is showing me that y of 0 is 1. But if I write type over here, now do remember this, that whenever you write type, it will give you an idea what type of variable it is. The time you press shift and enter, it is showing me that this 1 is of type string. Now, similarly, this is one of the program which you can see the output of. As we have seen, this is 23rd of October mentioned over here. The first statement is A is equal to 2 plus 3. Then it is print of A. Then we are checking the type of A. Then we are writing a string that is you have just seen. We are checking the type of it. We are writing in curly braces. We are writing a real number. And you can get the output as that the A value is there, integer type of variable it is, then list type of variable it is, then it is set type of variable, then it is float type of variable. Then we can perform operations as well on that. Some of the operations we can do it like this. Prior to starting with the operations, I'll go for one more attribute. Let's suppose I'll say A comma B comma C comma D, and then I'll say is equal to A comma B comma C comma D is equal to, I'll say 1 comma 2.5 comma, then C is of type string, let's suppose it is a rat, and then D is of type let's assume it's 100, right? And then we can simply say print type of A, so that we can get an idea. Then we can say print type of B, because we are giving all strings together. Then we can say print type of C. Then we can say print type of D. Now check it out. Now if you can see over here, we have written all 4 variables together. Then we have given the values which are different, and all 4 values are given together. So the first value which is given over here will be assigned to A. You have to remember this, because whenever this 1 will be given to A, then this 2 will be given to second, then this one will be given to third, and then this one will be given to the fourth. So if this is the case, this provides us more flexibility in assigning values to variables so that we can play with this programming language. Let's move further and see, because now you have seen the identifiers, we'll be seeing the operations with respect to different functions that we are going to use. I'll be using this function over here. Let me close the pointer option first so that I'll be able to copy it. Now here I am. This is the function. I'll just copy it so that it saves time. I'll copy it and paste it. Let's see what is the program. I have declared 2 variables, A comma B is equal to 0 comma 0. Then I'm writing print in program. Then I'm declaring a function. Now let's see this first. Now let me go back to the slideshow. We are on this particular slide. And I need to start from over here. Now please check it out. Now if you see when we were using C language, what we used to do is we used to write functions like this. We used to declare, let's suppose it was func, then bracket starts, then parentheses again. But here the concept is a bit different. We used to write in, whenever we were supposed to call a function, we used to write the name of the function, then a semicolon, and it will be executed. But when it comes to Python, the things will be a bit different. If you can see over here, def is the first keyword that you need to mention. Then after that, name of the function, then parentheses start and parentheses end. Then you have to write a colon. Now, whenever you write this colon, you will automatically see one of the beauty of this Python is that whenever you are supposed to write a program, it should be properly indented. Whenever you want to indent the code, Python is automatically doing that. So the first statement that you are writing, let's suppose I'll write over here for X, just to try to see how it works. The time I press enter, now enter will no more go to the location wherein for has started. It will go one step ahead so that you will see the indentation is very appropriate as far as Python programming language is concerned. Therefore, this will be treated as a function provided we do write def keyword for this. As For, you can see in this for is green in color, therefore it gives me a message that it is a already used keyword in Python. You cannot use for, but the time I say for 1, it will become blue in color, which means it's a valid function name. For is already used for loops. Therefore, for will be always in green color while you are writing, which gives you a message that you cannot use it. You have to use some other variable name. Now let's see this function, that is a comma b is equal to 0 comma 0, print in program, just to get an idea that we are in program. Then definition, we are creating a function that is manu. A is equal to 34, b is equal to a plus 16. Then print I am in function manu. So we are calling manu over here. Then we are printing b. We are just print simple print, which will move the cursor to the next line. And then we are saying print of a. Let's execute this program in order to see the result. Now, once I execute the program, you can see over here, it's showing me I am in program, I am in function manu, but the value of b printed is 0, and the value of a printed is 0. If you can check it out here, that this is a function. Therefore, I need to go to the function is having no print statements. Print statement is given out of the function. So whenever you declare a function, this is your function scope, and this will be the main program scope. So when this is the scenario, if you declare a variable over here, it won't be displaying the same value if you are changing the value over here. It will display the value which is in the external environment. But if you are declaring the variable outside this function, then the results will be different. Let's see that also. If we are going to use this sort of a program wherein we are declaring A and B, or we are declaring them as global, it will help us. Now let's declare them as global variables so that we can see whether it will work or not. This will be the program for that. We'll use the same program. Again, A is equal to B, A comma B is equal to 0, print in program, no change at all, def manu, but just prior to this A, we are adding global of A. Similarly, for B, we are adding global of B. Nothing else. Rest, everything is same. Now let's press shift and enter. And this time you can see by just writing this statement and this statement, the value has changed. It has been now global. What we used to do in C program or C++, we used to pass it by reference. Now here, no problem at all. You can declare it as a variable which can be accessed by function and the other attribute also. We will see pass by reference also over here so that we can understand that how Python works with respect to this. This is wherein you have seen global declaration. Now let's see a couple of more things which were not available in other programming languages. The first is, let's suppose I'll declare a variable as E is equal to, sorry, I am in this particular program. Let me shift towards the next command line. I'll write E is equal to 1 E 1. Now I press shift and enter. And sorry, I have to write print of E as well so that I'll see the value of the E, print of E as well. I'll press shift and enter. It is giving me the value of E. What is the value of E? It is 10. Now we can check it out. I have given a variable, a value which is not at all a number. It's an expression. What is the expression? It is 10 to the power of 1, isn't it? Or 1 to the power of 10, 1 raised to power 10. 10 raised to power 1. Let me change it and let me make it 2 so that it will be more clear. If I write over here 3, it will be 10 to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 3. If I write 5 over here, it will be 10 to the power of 5. So you can directly assign any sort of an value with respect to an expression. Now, if I want to check what will be the type of it, you can simply write type of E, because we know it is printing the correct value. It is showing you float. Why it is showing you float? Because we are using expressions. One more type over here is we can write complex values also. Let's suppose I'll write over here E1 is equal to 1, 1 plus. That is the first component of the variable. Then second one is 2.5 j. Then after that, I'll say print E1, and then I'll say print type of E1. By the time I press enter, now you can see the difference. It is printing the value 1 plus 2.5j, and this time the type of E1 is retrieving complex. I hope that everyone is connected. We have not lost people. Are you with me? Is everyone with me? Anybody can respond.
Yes, sir.
I hope that the session is not boring.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what we have seen over here, we can use complex values also. This gives you an idea that Python is giving you more and more flexibility. Now, by giving this particular expression, you can retrieve 10 raised power value. By giving this particular value, you can use complex numbers as well. And the type of that is as complex. Class keyword is over here. These are the basics which we need to understand in order to use machine learning. Because when it comes to machine learning, int and real is not the complete story. There are good number of data types. It can be sometimes a data type which you need to create yourself. So those things should also be visible to us. Let me move back to the presentation. So you can see over here, we can use, now if there is one more attribute which we need to see, that we have seen that E1 printing over here. But as we know that every complex number corresponds of two different entities. One is real, another one is imaginary. Now, if you want to access the real component of a variable, you need to mention the name of the variable dot real keyword. So therefore, if I write E1 dot real, what it will print now? It will print only 1.0 because the real part of the variable is 1. So let me put it like this so that you will understand. I'll write in inverted commas, real part is equal to, that is E1 dot real. Then after that, I'll write comma, imaginary part is equal to, then after that, I'll write comma and I'll write E1 dot imag. IMAG, yes. Then after that, if I write enter, now you can check it out. Real part is equal to 1.0 and imaginary part is equal to 2.5, not 2.5j, because by putting j, what we want to communicate to the Python programming language is that this is imaginary part. This is imaginary part. Then moving back further, now let's use one more statement, that is if statement, wherein we'll be checking out one more data type, that is true and false. That if the value of a variable is true, then what will be the resultant? If the value of a variable is false, what will be the resultant? Let's suppose I'll write over here, a is equal to 1. Then after that, I need to use if. So I'll write if a double equal to 2. Do remember this, that whenever we are using equal to sign in any of the programming language, it assigns value. Let's suppose I'll say a is equal to 20. So it means this 20 is assigned to a. But in mathematics, we say LHS is equal to RHS. When we are dealing with computers, we need to understand this, that A will not be replaced. A will remain as it is. Whatever is on the RHS, it will be put in A as far as the programming language are concerned. Therefore, you need to understand over here, when double equal to is mentioned, it is comparison of LHS and RHS. And whenever we are supposed to write a function like we have used if over here, if is a conditional statement. So if is a conditional statement, it will have two parts. One is when it is true and one is when it is false. So whenever we used to write function as of now in other programming language, we used to say if, then the condition and then we used to write the then part, and then we used to write else part. Now, what will change in Python is that we need to remember, we need to mention a colon at the end of the statement. That is if. It means the then part will follow after this colon. If statement, if it is true, then this will be done. So I'll write print I am in then part. Then after that, I need to write else. So I need to write else. I need to go back. As I mentioned, programming is all about indenting. When you are writing lines of code, if you are a good programmer, what you will do is you will indent the code properly. So indenting the code properly is that if you are starting at a particular line, whenever any line is under that line, it has to be one step ahead. So else is not a part of if, it is rather the other part wherein in case of false condition, we need to execute it. So I'll write else, then you need to write a colon. If I may press enter, it will never go back to is position. It will be at a position which will be one step ahead of else. I'll write print I am in else part. So I'm in else part, that's it. So once you finish it, you can say, you can just press shift and enter, and you can see that I am in then part has been printed. But if I write it as 0, if I put A as 0, and if I print I am in else part, you can see the working of an if based on the value that you are going to give. So what we have done as of now, we are giving values directly to the variables. We'll be seeing that how an input is taken, and I'll be explaining you that what we need to take care of while we are taking inputs. So this is just what if statement we have seen, and if I put 0, it will show you that I am in false part. You can put values like, you can put it like this also. I'll put it in the shape of true and false. Let's suppose we say x is equal to single equal to 2. But do remember t has to be kept true. Then only it will be green in color. When it is green in color, it means it's a perfect keyword. But if I write it like this, let's suppose RUE, it's not an appropriate word. You have to write RUE true. Then if I say print of x, it will print true of x. And if you want to see the type of it, you will simply write type, and then after that x, so that you can say, and it's showing you bool. So this is the beauty over here. Whenever you are putting true over there, it is showing you that it's a boolean value. It's automatically understanding everything. So this is just one example. I'll be sharing all my PPT and the code that we are practicing in this session. I'll be sharing it with the organizers, and they can give it back to you so that you can practice it. Then similarly, you have seen, now let's get a glimpse of certain things over here with respect to the data types. There are two different segments as far as data types are concerned. One is mutable and another one is immutable. If you have an integer type of value, you generally integer class, you are not able to modify it, but there are certain data types wherein you can integrate it with others, you can add to it, you can create your own data types. Based on that, let's try to see a couple of things over here. I'll just explain it because we have tried it in different sessions. One is that if you are declaring two variables of type integer, then you are writing another variable that is C is A divided by B, which will always give you a number, which will be of type float. Therefore, the type of that, whatever the resultant is there, if you are putting any equation, it will be always on the higher side. If you are having an integer and float, it will give you float. Similarly, you have seen complex numbers also. You can use those complex numbers, you can add them, you can subtract them, you can multiply them. Let's take this example so that a bit it will be clear to you. And let me take a variable over here. A is equal to 1 plus 2.1 j, which gives you a complex number. Then B is equal to 2 plus 3.1 j. Then I can write C is equal to A plus B. Then I can write print C. So this time onwards, what I'll be doing is I'll write type of the variable in every statement that I'll be using so that we can understand the nitty-gritties of all the variables that I'm going to use. Type of C. Now, once I press Shift Enter, it is giving me the value as 3 plus 3 plus, means this 3 has been achieved after adding 1 and 2, real part of A and real part of B. Then similarly, the complex imaginary part of A and imaginary part of B has been added together, and the output is visible on your screen, which you can see 3 plus 2, 5.2J. And if you want to further clarify it, you can simply write C dot real, comma, C dot image. And once you press enter, it will show you 3.0, which is a float type of variable, 5.2, but clubbed together, these are single variable with the type that is complex. When I say C, it will show you that it's complex. So let's multiply it. Let's use multiplication sign, and once I multiply it, that these results will be, you can check it out. It is giving me the complete results, float value, and you can see the accuracy, that how many decimal values I'm getting. This is all about when you are analyzing huge amount of data. A decimal value at 10th place, at 20th place matters a lot, because you need to have a precise and concise information. You cannot shed away with that. Then similarly, we can have strings, as you have seen over here, that I'm writing A is equal to ABC. Then, okay, let me put it like this over here. Let me write this program so that you will understand. What we are writing over here is A is equal to, let's suppose I'll write Manu. And after that, this time I'm writing print of A first, so that we'll understand it. Then I'm writing print of type of A. We have already checked it, but this time I'll be using a third statement. This is very important over here. Now this time I'll be using not type, I'll be using ID of A. Now check it out. These are three different statements. A is equal to Manu gives an idea that it's a string because it's in double inverted commas. Now once I say print of A, Manu will be printed. Once I say print type of A, it will print class str. That it is a string type of variable. But when I say print ID of A, it will give me the handler of A. It will give me the address of A. What you used to do in C, ampersand of A, then we had a huge concept. It used to take us 10 to 20 classes in order to understand the concept of pointers fully. But here, it's entirely different. You have to simply write ID and it will give you all details with respect to that address of A. Now, the time I press shift and enter, you will see Manu has been printed, then class string has been printed, and then after that, this is the ID of this variable, that is A. Now, let me declare one more variable. D is equal to DEF, and after that, if I say print ID of B, you will get an idea what is this. Now you will get an idea over here that this is same sequence up to this particular point. No, up to 60. After that, the number gets changed. So similarly, you will find that you will go for a good number of options over here. Let's further process these things and let's see what else we can do with how flexible this Python programming language is. I'll increase the length of this A so that we can see the impact. Manu ATAL program. And after that, B I'll remove. I can simply say print of, you can see over here what we are going to use is first it's Manu, then we are printing A multiplied by 2. We'll see that what does it mean. We'll see A long brackets 0:4. Let's see first print. It is, let's write over here A long brackets, let me write 1:3, and then after that I'll remove all these statements so that we'll be able to understand this. Now check it out. When I say 1:3, it means it is treating this Manu ATAL program as an array. And when I say 1, it will start not from M, it will start from A. See how flexible it is. Now, if I write 0, check it out, it is showing me MAN. So, if you see the current scenario, if you see the bioinformatics, you are having huge tons and tons of data. It's completely based on text. So when it comes to searching text, we used to take good number of lines to write in C and C++, but in Python, it can become more easier. You can be more precise and be more concise with respect to this. Then similarly, one more statement which I had used over here was, let's suppose I'll say print, then after that I'll say A multiplied by 3. Now you can check it out. It will first print MAN Manu Atal program, Manu Atal program. Man is first printed, then after that further it's printed twice. I can just make this as a comment. You can understand it fully. Now here it is. Now you are not able to understand that this Manu Atal program is in a single line because it is 3 times. You want that it should be in different lines. So what you can do is you can at the end you can write slash of n. Now the time you press enter, it will give you the output of 1, 2nd, and 3rd. Now you check out your C language. Whenever you use slash n, the impact will be with respect to that printf statement. Whenever you want to replicate it in a loop, the concept was entirely different. Here, you have to declare the string like this. Now, further, we can we have just seen that how we can retrieve a particular string from a string variable. Then similarly, you can use all these combinations and mechanisms in order to understand in a better fashion. But one statement which we have missed over here, that we can find out whether text is existing in a variable or not. Like I can say it like this: print. It was Manu, a central university that I had written initially. Then we have written a statement over here that is print NU in A. So what we'll do over here is, it is Manu Atal program. So we'll write PROG. So we'll write it like this, that print, then we'll say in inverted commas that PROG as it is. Then we can write in is a keyword. Then in A is the variable name that we are mentioning. It will return either true or false. You have seen that we have written PROG. Now, if I say XROG, then the resultant will be false. And if I remove this X, you can say ROG, then it will again display, you can say true. And if I say FROG, then in that particular case, it will display false. So you can see the flexibility, the level of flexibility we are getting in this programming language. One more attribute with respect to strings, which we'll now see, that is, I'll use them one by one using the same variable, that is A. I'll say print of A first, so that we'll understand. So print of A is giving me Manu Atal program. As you can see, Manu is all in capitals, Atal is all in capitals, and program T is capital. I can write directly print A dot capitalize. You'll forgive me for spelling mistakes if I make any. Now you can see Manu, when I say capitalize, the whole Manu Atal program, the first alphabet of Manu will be capital. Rest all alphabets will be normal, like a sentence. Then we can make it like this. I'll use the same so that we'll understand. Then we can use title. You can see Manu will have M capital, Atal will have A capital, program will have P capital. We can go for upper. You can simply mention the upper and you will see the resultant. It will be all in upper. You can mention lower. You can mention lower. It will be all in lower. So similar, you can change it. Let's suppose I'll now go for another one, that is swap. If it is capital, make it small. If it is small, make it capital. Swap case. Swap case, you can see it over here. In Manu, all small. ATAL all small, then P is converted to small, and ROGRAMME is converted to capital letters. So this is one more attribute wherein you can understand that how easy it is when you are using Python. I cannot refute it that Python is the best. No, no, not at all. C is having its own credibility. Python is providing you more flexibility. I can use a len statement as well. I can say print a dot len so that we can understand it. When I press enter, give me, sorry, I have missed something. Yes. Oh, sorry, I have written it wrongly. I have to write it because len is a function. While writing this, I forgot len is a function, therefore it cannot be possible. As we have seen, id is a function, as type is a function, so len is also a function. So now you can get 22 as an output. The total number of alphabets, the total number of characters rather, it is 22. Let's move further. This was the same program that we have just seen. We can search for a particular alphabet, like you can see over here. Print a dot starts with double inverted commas man, then 0 from 0, then length of a. What it means is start from the first position, find out the length, start checking out till the time you reach end of it. That is alpha, is it alpha, is it alphabet, is it digit, is it is space is there. You can find out maximum, you can find out minimum. Good number of options are there. If you wish, I can use a couple of them. Like let's suppose, let me check a couple of them. I'll put it like this. Let me use first of all print is alpha. Is a dot is alpha. Sorry. It's a single word is alpha. Then you have to mention parenthesis. Press enter. Shift enter. It is showing me that it's false. Then is digit, is space, max of a, max of min of a. You can find out all these attributes. Like these are the resultants with respect to the program. So you need to try and you need to use these different attributes. There are a good number of functions that you can use with respect to the strings. This is one of the example where when we have seen different data types, we are now going to add one more data type to it. As of now, what we have seen when we used to declare a, we have seen a is equal to, by using long brackets, we have seen 1, 2, 3, or with an inverted commas. Then we did check using curly braces. Now what we'll be doing is, now we are going to use only parentheses. So this will give a different data type over here. We'll be giving a is equal to parenthesis start. Now I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this time I'll say print type of a. Now this is another type that we are supposed to understand over here. If you check out over here, what is the type of the data? It is tuple. It's very important and very useful as far as machine learning is concerned, as far as processing huge amounts of data is concerned, because you can have good amount of information in a tuple. So this is one of the examples wherein you are seeing a is equal to, within brackets there is nothing, b is equal to, values are there, print type of a, it's giving you the type of tuple as, then you are printing the value of b, that is displayed over here, tuple is displayed, then you can club them together. Let's suppose if I use over here another tuple, that is b is equal to, let me put parentheses over here and write 20, 21, 22, 23 over here, and then after that if I say that print c is equal to a plus b, and when I print c, the value will be not the addition, but rather when we combine two tuples. Now if you can check out over here, C, by adding A and B, what it is doing is all the elements of A plus the elements of B. So you're combining two tuples together. So based on data types only, we can see that it is providing us huge flexibility. It's providing a good options which we can use in order to process different segments. We can find out whether an element is available or not by just writing. Let's suppose this was C. I can simply write any variable. Let's suppose in C we are having all variables. Let me write it like this: 20 in A. Is 20 in A? 20 is not in A. So therefore, when I press Shift and Enter, it will show me with respect to this particular line, it will show me the output as false. Now, if I write not 20, but I'll write 4 in A, the time I press Enter, it will show me true. Therefore, you can find out whether a number is existing in a tuple or not. Then you can have, we have seen this tuple, combination of tuple, we can use multiplication sign and plus sign on. Now, if it is multiplication sign, then it will be entirely different. It will combine one single tuple twice or thrice, or as many times as you wish. You can put it like this: print. We can directly say D is equal to A multiplied by 3. And after that, we can say print D. And once I press enter, you can see D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can check out how many times it has been printed. Anybody can give the answer so that I can see whether people are connected with me or not, or I am disconnected. I hope that I am connected.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what you can see in print D, the A value has been replicated thrice. First, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is first A. This is then second A. This is then third A. Now, if I change it and if I make it 2, now check it out. It's showing you only 2 times. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, with respect to this, now once we move further and once we see that how we are going to move with respect to these all data types, we need to explore first data types, then use the normal programming structure. So we have seen the tuple, and in tuple, now we can understand different functions that we can use. Tuple. Let me take one tuple over here so that it will become easy for us. I'll take this A. I'll copy this, I'll paste it, I'll remove B, C, I'll remove all these statements. I'll use only A. I can put it like this, the first thing. Now we'll go one by one. You can find out print length of A. We can then go ahead with, first one is length, then we can go for maximum out of all the numbers that you are having. Now let me press enter. You can check length of A is 6 elements. Then after that, max of A is 6. I can simply use another one attribute, that is min as well. Minimum among all the values that have been given, it is giving you 1. You can sum them together. Now, once you sum them, it is 21. You can sort them. Let me change it a bit. I'll put it like this: 6, 13, 21. It's sorted. I'll put it like this: 6, 21, 13, 0, 0, 2, comma 1. If I press it again, now it is showing me 11 elements. Maximum is 21. Minimum is 0. And the sum is 58. I can use it like this as well. I can use it that sorted. I need this in sorted order, so I'll write sorted. Check it out. The beauty of this language is you are simply writing a simple function, easily available, This is the basic Python that this is basic fundamentals that we are trying to understand. You are getting the complete sorted list. You can segregate this list. You can take few elements out of it. You can search for some elements. You can do wonders with tuples. You can find, as we have seen in previous functions as well, you can find whether a variable is in the list, in the tuple or not. You can print a particular element based on your wish. You can print a range of elements. What you need to do is long brackets and then start with the first entity that you want to print up to the last entity. When we say up to, the first entity needs to be followed by a colon, and then after that the last entity. So it will take from first to last all the values and it will print. And this is one more attribute over here which you can, I'll erase all ink on the slide. So in order to get an idea that if you are writing A is equal to B, if in case A and B is equal, it will give you true. If it is not equal, it will give you false. If you are mentioning A not equal to B, if this is true, then it will give you true value. Otherwise, it will give you false value. These are relational operators that we can use with respect to the variables as well. If you want to check, we can simply write it like this. A is equal to 10, and then B is equal to 15. Then if I say A double equal to B, the time I press enter, it will give me false. And if I mention this as 15, then it will give me true. If I mention now not equal to, then it will show me different result, that is false. And similarly, we can go ahead with other attributes also. We can add them together as we have seen. Let's move further and see some more options as well. Now I need to club different values. Like what we have seen in this particular program was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21, 13, 0, 12, 2, and 1. Now I need to give another type of variables to it. Now let's suppose I'll give Manu, and then after that I'll press shift and enter. What is this showing is a different attribute. It's showing me an error message. Now it is showing me this as an error message, but if I remove this and I write print of A, now you can see the difference. Why did this error message display over here? The main reason for that is that I had used options like min. I had used options like max. I had used options like sum. I had used options like sorted. So whenever I am adding this string to it, it is valid. It is a tuple, but you cannot sort it. You cannot find out maximum number out of it because this is not a number. This is a string. So sometimes if you need to put combination of data types into a tuple, you can put it. But do remember, you cannot use those functions which we have used just now. Like you cannot sort them. You cannot find out minimum of out of it. Minimum is used only when numbers are there. Now compare it with your previous language, that is C or C++. You cannot put different data types into a single data type, but you can put different data types into a data structure. So you can just correlate these two topics together, that how much flexible it is in Python. It's automatically understanding. Now I cannot use sort because error message is generated. I'm having a string value within a tuple. These are basic things which you can try, and don't worry at all. If Python will generate error, nobody is going to watch you. Nobody is going to punish you. Rather, what you're supposed to do is try it, see what is the output. And whenever output is there, don't get panicked. If an error message is generated, don't get panicked. Try to rectify it. Try to take online help so that you can be able to understand the basic functions. Once you understand the basic function, then only you can leverage from it. Then only you can use it for your appropriate domain, whatever you are at. So therefore, what we have seen just now is that this is one of the examples wherein we try to club two different data types together. Now, if you wish, I can go ahead with one more attribute over here. I can go ahead that I can print the fifth element of this tuple. I can simply write it like this. Fifth element will be printed. And if I go for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, if I write 11th element, then Manu will be printed. More flexibility over here. No need to declare any arrays or anything like that. This is one more example wherein you can see that we can have a tuple like A, we can have a tuple like B, then we can go for A plus B. You can see one of the best examples of A plus B and A multiplied by 3. We have seen it, we have tried it. Then there is one more data type, that is list. List we have seen, but we'll try to go for some functions with respect to list. Now I'll write A is equal to, we need to use long brackets. Do remember long brackets for having a list. Now this time I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you want to find out, you can simply write print type of A. Time you press enter, it will be a list. Then you can have another list as well. You can add elements to it. As you can see over here, we do have the type is available, that it's a list. You can append elements to it. You can count the number of elements. You can count that how many times 2 is available in a list. It will show you that as well. Let's firstly try to append a few elements. I'll say that the method is first write the name of the variable dot append. Then I'll say that I want to append 4 again in this. I'll say 4 again. The reason for that is because I want to increase the frequency of a particular attribute. If you want to see that whether it has been appended or not, we can say print of A. Print of A. The time I press enter, it is showing me 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. So 4 is how many times? It is 2 times. When it is 2 times, now I can count the occurrence of 4. So I can simply write over here that A dot count. Now which variable do you want to count? I want to count 4. So I'll simply press enter and it will show me 2. Now if I want to print it in an interactive manner, what I can do is I can store it into a variable. I can use interact that print the value, the number of times 4 is occurring in this particular data set. You can mention 2 or 3, whatever it is. So this is with respect to the list. And then you can use to find out what is the index of a particular attribute, particular value in a list. You can find out this. You can insert more than one elements into a list that we have seen. We can use append, we can use insert. Then similarly, we can perform different functions. These are some functions which I would like to put it like this. Let's suppose we used to study these concepts in C, especially in data structures. That let's suppose this is a pipeline wherein I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if this is a pipeline and we have inserted 4 variables in it, this side we are having an opening. Whenever we want to take out an element, it will be only and only 4 that will be taken out. So we used to name it as, whenever you want to take out an element, the operation used to be pop. And we were supposed to write approximately 15 to 20 lines of code in order to pop an element. And similarly, if you want to push an element, it will be pushed from over here. Now in Python, you are having everything inbuilt. What you need to do is you need to simply write pop as a function and push as a function. So let's firstly try to use pop so that we can see whether it is working or not. If I say, but variable name has to be given with respect to that. Which variable you are going to pop? Let's suppose I'll say a dot pop. And after that, I want to see the status of A. I'll say print after pop. After pop operation. Then I'll say /n and then comma, and then I'll say A, so that I can understand that what is there. Now, if you can check out prior to pop, you are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 as elements of a list. But once we have used pop operation, we simply did mention A is a variable and we used pop. It did pop the element, the topmost element, and automatically what you can see is 1, 2, 3, 4 is now available. One item has been popped from the list. You can reverse a list. Let's suppose I'll say print A dot, A is the name of the variable. So I'll say print A dot reverse. That's it. A is 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore, it will give you the reverse of it. This is A dot reverse. As there was, had we, okay, fine. We can use it like this, so that we can understand it. In order to understand it, that's it. A dot reverse is there. Then you can use remove is there. You can remove an item from a list. Then similarly, you can extend a list by adding elements to it. Like you can see that first we are having a list over here. We are declaring another list over here. We can extend this XY is extended by Z in order to give you an idea that how we can add or collaborate by adding a couple of lists together. Then we can use this ID function in order to see what will be the ID of a list. Let's suppose let me use this program so that you will understand this. Let me declare first A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then let me take B is equal to 7 and 8. And then after that, let me extend it. Let me extend it first. A dot extend with B. Let's see whether it works or not. Print A. Let's print A in order to understand the working. You can find out that what we have done is we have written A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. B is equal to 7, 8. Then we have extended A by adding B to it. And now the value of A is this one. And once this is the value of A, we can find out what was the ID over here. Let me add this statement over here. We'll see the ID in both the two cases. You will find the ID will be the same. First, here, I'll print the ID of A, which will give you an idea that address will remain same. Print after extending list, after extending list A, then comma, then you can say ID of A. Now this will give you an output over here. You can check it out over here. The ID that was given prior to extending was 240 at the end. You can check out all. Then after extending, the ID is same, which gives you an idea that whenever we are extending, it is extending the same at the same location, whatever variable we are having. So this will help you in managing variables using address as well. There is one more attribute, one more data type that we need to understand. It's a dictionary, wherein we can have a keyword and an alphabet associated with that keyword. That's also a data type. So we have dictionary in Python corresponding to a key and a value. Key is unique in the whole list that we are going to give. Values may be unique or it may be similar, hardly matters. Values of a dictionary in Python can be of any valid data type. Now this is one of the examples. If we take this example, we can start with this data type. That is my dictionary. My dictionary is equal to. Now, as I mentioned, the different types of brackets that we use. We are using curly braces. So I'll say the first one is 1, then colon. So 1 is a keyword. Then after that, it is within the 1, I have written Manu. Then after that, it is comma. Now 2 is there, colon, again colon is there. So 2 becomes a keyword. Keywords cannot be similar, but values can be similar. Then I will say ATAL. Then ATAL is there. Then after that, I'll say 3, colon is there, and then I'll say university. Now after that, I'll say print type of my dictionary. Now let's see. You can check it out. This is another data type, that is dictionary, DICT, of which belongs to a class, and wherein you are having keywords and values. Let's try by giving a wrong value. As we have seen in the definition mentioned over here, that keys are unique within the dictionary. Let's try to give a value which is similar. Let's suppose I'll give 3 over here. When we will process it, it will generate errors. When we will use this dictionary for other examples, it will generate errors. And values can be similar, no issue at all. This is one of the examples which we have seen. You can have numeric values, you can have strings, no issue at all. You can use len as a function, you can use type in order to find out whether it's a dictionary or not. The time you say len of a dictionary, it will give you the number of keywords, number of values that you are having. If you want to see that length of a dictionary, I can say len of my dictionary, showing me 3. Let's suppose I'll increase one more. I'll say 4 colon, and then after that I'll say Hyderabad. The time I press enter, it will show me 4. Therefore, you can find it out that here the keyword and the value associated with that is treated as a single entity. And if you want to print my dictionary, you can simply say print my. The whole dictionary will be printed. And similarly, you can see some more options that you can use complete string. As we have seen, it can be treated as string by converting the whole dictionary into a string. Inverted commas will be at the end. Then you can put that as well. Okay, if you want to check it out, if I say print str of my dictionary, you can see inverted commas will be put across the dictionary, and then after that you can use that by putting the value to some other variable. Let's suppose x is equal to str of my dictionary. You have got x as a variable wherein my dictionary has been placed. Now when I say that, print of type of x, now you can check it out. Now see the beauty over here, that when I did store str of my dictionary into x, it gives a message to the Python programming language environment that dictionary has been converted to a string, and that string has been placed into x. Therefore, the type of x will be a string. So very much flexible with respect to Python. You can clear all dictionaries, it will become null. You can print a dictionary. Then there are more, you can find out the values, only values of a dictionary. It will give you the values only. Like in our case, if I remove this, and if I only want to print the values, not the keys, then that also can be done. You can simply write print. Then you can simply write print, or we can say my dictionary dot values. Once you are pressing enter, you can see only Manu, Atal, University, and Hyderabad is printed. Nothing else will be printed. Now, with respect to that, you can copy dictionary by just using this particular keyword, that is copy. You can use items. You can use keys in order to print keys only. You can update a dictionary by using updat update function. You can use values we have just now checked. This is you can update that. You can pop a value. You can update that by putting a new value, and you can pop that by removing a previous value. There is one more attribute that we can see over here, that is sets. Now let's see. Let's suppose I'll say x1 is equal to, again curly braces, 1, 2, 3. Now if I see that what is the type of x1, print type of x1. Now take it out. It is showing you the sets. Now this data type will help you in having good number of values and it will be treated as a set. Now there are different set operations that you can perform, like checking whether it is a subset, clubbing two sets, union of a set, disjoint of a set. When it comes to that, we can use this sort of an function. Like you can see over here, I have used your set as one of the attributes. Then here I was using my set as one of the attributes. Then we can see intersection, union, difference, difference, reverse order. Let's put it like this. X1 is 1 comma 2 comma 3. Then we can have x2 as curly braces, then I'll say 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. Now if this is the scenario, then what we need to see is now intersection. Do remember intersection as understood in other programming languages is as good as and. Then after that union is as good as or, so we can use that. Let's use it. Print the intersection will be intersection is equal to then we can say x1 intersection is and, as you can see over here, and the time you press and it will have a different color, x2. So therefore let's see first intersection, then we can use the same thing. You can see the intersection value is what, 2 comma 3. From this you can again get an idea that you can handle sets also. By a single value, it is giving you the intersection of two sets. Similarly, what we can go for is, we can check out the union as well. We can check out union as well. Union is equal to, this is OR operator. Fine, you can check out, this is union. Then what do we have next is difference. We can find out the difference as well. We can find out the difference as well. We can write it as difference. Now this time what I'll do is I'll say x2 minus x1. Take it out. x2 minus x1. x2 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now once we remove, what can be removed? 1 cannot be removed, but 2, 3 can be removed. So it can be 4, 5, 6. Then we can have, okay, fine. Now if I put the same thing, the difference, but in reverse order, what will be the resultant? If I'm putting x1 first, and then x2 at next, then the difference will be different. What is the difference? 2 and 3 has been removed and 1 is there. So therefore you can perform operations on sets as well. So we have seen good number of data types. Dictionary is there, set is there. Then these are the operators that we have seen. Arithmetic operators are there, plus, minus, multiplication, division, percentage, that is modulus, this is power, double sign, double division. Then double equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than. And it's this double will always give you, whenever you use this double sign of division, it will remove the decimal values. Let's suppose if 5 divided by 2 is equal to 4.5. When you use this double division operator, it will give you only the integer part of the value. At times when we are using programs, we need to eradicate the decimal point in case, depending on the requirement, then only you use this double slash sign. Then you are having assignment operators, logical operators. These are bitwise operators, membership and identity operators. These are all examples, whatever has been mentioned over here, as far as operators are concerned, one example is associated with that. Arithmetic is here, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 10, then a plus b. See, in single statement, plus, minus, multiplication, power, and modulus has been mentioned, and then double divide sign. If you wish, we can do that as well. We can simply write I'll use the same value so that we'll not have any sort of an issue with respect to that. Okay, let me use b is equal to 100. Then first, I'll change a single value so that you will be able to understand one by one. I'll say a plus B, that is arithmetic operation, which you have seen. So it will give me 110. If I say double star, because that's what we need to understand over here. Now you check it out here because it's a huge number. So what I'll do is I'll change this B to 3 and then see the resultant. Giving me directly the 1000. Now if I divide 10 by 3, double divide. So 10 divided by 3 is 3.333, whatever you understand, but it will give me the integer part of this only. And if I use only a divided by 3, then the answer will be 3.333. At the end, it is truncating the decimal. But if you use double slash, then things are different. Double slash, things are different. Now we can check out. So you can remove the decimal part and you can have an integer part only. Similarly, we can have bitwise operators wherein AND is an operator which will give you the output as A and B, A or B, A not of B. Then you are having exclusive or so moving any particular item one way towards the right hand side. Bitwise operation. Let me do it for A and B bitwise operation so that we'll understand that what will be the value. I'll take the same example and I'll use print. This time what I'll do is I'll use it by shifting 10. That is A towards right hand side first by one place. So if I shift 10 right hand side, so the value of 10, that is the binary value of 10, one digit is moved towards the right hand side and one is eradicated, so it will become 5. And if I again change it and if I make it another sign, bitwise operation, so this will become now 20 because it was 10. Now it is moving, it is adding one digit to it. Therefore, this will show you the bitwise operation on A by adding or deleting bit, a binary digit out of that 10. Then similarly, this is the program for it. Logical operations, you can use and, or, and not as well. We can go for like this. I'll use the same statement. I'll say A and B. Now it is showing me A and B is as 3. If I say A or B, it show me 10, any one value. I can say that if it is not, then only one variable needs to be used. Print not of D, that will be false or true. These are membership operators. Membership operators generally do check whether a variable is available in a list of values. Like you can see over here, A is given over here. You can check print 4 in A, print 7 in A. It will give you true or false depending on the value that you have given. This is ID, what we have discussed with respect to by mentioning print ID of A or print ID of B. These are identity operators as far as Python is concerned. Then just before I conclude, there are a couple of points which I would like to discuss. The first one is that we need to see how loops do work in Python, and second, how we can handle files. Because in Python, it becomes very easy to handle files, text files or Excel files or CSV files. I'll just take an idea of 1 or 2 files, then after that we can wind up. I don't want to be in between your lunch and this session. This is the concept of loops. Let me start by writing this particular program. I'll say A is equal to, I'll write the same program so that you will not get lost in this. I'll write A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then after that, I'll start with the for loop. So I'll say for A in, for I in the above variable that we have declared, that is A. Then you need to give colon sign. Now give whatever, once you press enter, so it means you can give now all the statements that you want to put in for. Let's suppose I'll say print Manu. Print Manu. How many times Manu will be printed? As many variables as you are having. Then after that, I'll give another statement, print I, and then I'll give one more statement as print. First, it will be in haphazard, then we can rectify it. Print A as well, so that we can understand how it works. Now, if you check out, it is showing me Manu first, then I value is 1, and A is full. A is the complete details. It is giving me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me put it like this. Just a rough work, so that we can put it in a single line and it will be visible for us. Now take it out. Now print first Manu, then one variable is given as I, then this text, and then the whole list. So whatever you need. So if I want to print only the values, so I'll simply say print I. Now check it out. Showing me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 1 second. Similarly, I can go for now while loop as well. Now here is the while loop. The same concept, num is equal to 1 to begin with. While num is less than 10, print num is equal to num plus 1. The same concept as in for. You can then go for one more concept, which is, we can write it like this. For I in range, you can give the starting, you can give starting range, you can give ending range as well. Just hold on a second. Here is one option where sir, bus 5. Now here it is for I in range 0, 5, 1 iteration value. That is, we need to start from 0, then it is 5, and then we are adding it by 1. Then after that, you can simply write any particular statement. Let me write print of I. Sorry, print of I. Just press enter, and you are having all the values of loop over here. So this is just the fundamental that I have shown. I'll just be a bit fast now, just to show you that you can put text also in for loops. Then you can how to take input as well. In input, I would only mention one point. If you see over here, it is mentioned value is equal to input, enter your value. Whatever value you are going to give, it is treated as text. Now, if you want to put it as an integer value, you need to convert it first to the integer. Then only it will be taken as an integer value. So all these examples are given over here. I have tried my level best to give you an idea of what Python is, to give you an idea that how see the flexibility in terms of data types, in terms of how you are going to write the statements, and then you can see that the more you explore this Python programming language, you will be able to learn it and you will be able to apply it. Learning Python is not a big deal, but applying Python is really what is needed as far as machine learning and artificial intelligence is concerned. As I'm getting reminders that there is, I'm in between you and the lunch. This presentation I'll be sharing with organizers at any particular point of time. You have any issues? In the first slide itself, I have mentioned my mail ID as well, and you can carry on with that. So with these words, I'll just wind up. If you want me to discuss functions, I'll be discussing and using files as well. We can discuss that. Otherwise, the floor is open for questions. Hope the session was fine. Dr. Pradeep sir.
Yeah, session was extremely good. Actually, we introduced this Python in the beginning because the later session, even the next is coming with the bioinformatic application. So we expect our participants to, hands-on with the techniques of big data science in the tools, so that they can implement to their respective domains. So it was indeed very good. And I hope the audience will be the better judge to say any query regarding or any feedback they want to share. It is a academic era, and people are with open-minded. So we have been trying our best, level best. So to me, sir, it has been a fantastic session as far as my understanding is concerned. Now, if any query, please, from the audience. audience are very looking very seems to be very tired. Maybe due to lunch, maybe due to their hectic schedule, and what not else. I am not sure. So please, if
they might be feeling very hungry because initially they were a bit interested, but afterwards I could see that they were feeling that it's not of relevance.
actually, Dr. Saab, ye na, this is online is the kind of online classes, online engagement creates so many issues, so many problems while you are sitting at home and doing all these things. And now see what would be the situation of the students while we are teaching them and dealing with them. So if it can happen with us, why not with the students? So anyway, if any query, please be quick. Can you close presentation close कर देते हैं सर किरमानी साहब?
जी सर मैंने कर दिया presentation close.
So that we can see.
Sir, I'll be sharing the presentation file handling and all.
Sure, we need, sir. Actually, to my dear participants, we will compile all together all the PPTs and we'll be sharing with you to the end of the session. In between, if you need, happy to see Bobby Reddy ma'am. It was something went wrong with your mail and the intimation, and good to see you in the panel. शायद बॉबी रेड्डी को तो समझ में भी नहीं आ रहा है, हिंदी का प्रॉब्लम है शायद कुछ. किरमानी साहब, वंशिका रस्तोगी मैम, I suppose from the ABS Engineering College, my that's. Are you able to?
Yes,
hear
sir.
Me?
Yes,
okay.
sir. I'm able to hear you.
Okay, where are the other team members? I have spent a lot quality time with the ABS almost I remember 10 years, and I'm not able to recognize anyone of you except.
Sir, actually, most of us are new. We've joined the college 2 years back.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you all. So, okay, sir. So the between audience and you, else I request my dear friend Islam Saab. Islam Saab भी लग रहे हैं कि lunch की बहुत जल्दी हो रही है उनको भी ना.
नहीं सर ठीक है सर. नहीं सर. It's okay sir.
If you allow me, I would like to mention just one statement. मैंने अपने गुरुओं से सुना है कि भाई अगर ऑडियंस से कोई सवाल ना आ जाए, do understand that nobody has understood anything.
नहीं सर, ऑडियंस हमारे ऐसे नहीं है. And the best part, I know my audience is also, and I know my speaker as well. So the thing is not like that. I may be new to them. They are not new. Many of them are not new to me.
Okay.
So anyway, Islam sir, please proceed for a special interrupt,
sir. Yes sir.
Sorry for interrupt, sir.
Yeah, Virender ji.
Really a very excellent session, sir.
Okay, good.
Really, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So, an official vote of thanks to Dr. Mudassir Kirmani Saab. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for hands-on practice on Python programming session. This session is really helpful due to the beauty of its illustration in practical approach. You have very efficiently enlightened us with the role and applications of Python programming in data science and recent research. Thank you, Dr. Saab, to be with us for delivering such an informational lecture. Thank you, one and all. Now we can proceed for the lunch, and then after Naya may coordinate whatever the lecture is.
So we shall be meeting around 2:30, 5 minutes extra for your this lunch bonus time. So we will be meeting again at 2:35.
Thank you,
so much.
sir.
Okay,
Thank you, audience, for bearing me out. Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.